Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk about candles, and why I don't use black usually. Black candles naturally soak up energy rather than give it off. It's kind of like a consuming color, something that you either want to draw an energy into or away from you into. And it can also be used to feed servitors. Now let me explain. I created Sagama, a servitor that I use, from developing a sigil, and also putting his power and being in life itself into a certain item, and I feed him through black candles, and I have plenty of black candles, and I feed him through that, and he serves a specific purpose. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything about Sagama, but I'll simply name him as an example. I feed him through black candles like this one, which is a black votive candle I placed into a votive holder. And basically, in order to access the servitor, you have to know how to call him, and also how he helps, and kind of his sigil and how to use it. That's what keeps Sagama completely tied to who I am, and only be fed by me, and only be able to serve me because I know the parameters of his existence. If you look into servitors, you'll learn a lot of different methods of creating one, how to use one, and how not to let it die. And now, it all comes from the idea that thought forms can be created by consciousness, that these thought forms can be made to serve us and manifest certain things for us, because ultimately the universe is composed of thoughts, thoughts in a grander one God wholeness. Even the gods are sections of God. Even we are sections of God. Everything is a part of this one source, if you will. And as a result, if we learn how to create thoughts that exist in a similar way to how everything is in the mind of this one God and one source, we can actually create beings that will serve a specific purpose for us. Now, this is Sagama's meal. And but the main thing is, I want to talk about candles and their colors. Now, black I use to feed Sagama because it brings energy in, and it also doesn't really reflect a whole lot of it. That's why black candles are so efficient at bringing it in. And if you need to get rid of some kind of negativity in your house, in your space, then black candles are very good, because it soaks what energy you're directing it to soak into a place away from you. Now, there are other kinds of candles, other ways to use candles. For instance, if we're going to talk about red. Red is the color of Ugufeli, a Vodou spirit, and I usually feed him and recognize him through red candles. And candles are especially powerful if you buy them with the intention of doing a specific thing with that candle. If you just buy a whole bunch of candles and you don't really know what you're going to use them for, that's not as powerful as buying a candle to use for a specific purpose, and towards a specific spell or being, spirit, God, what have you. Now, red is usually passion. It's power in a way. It's fierceness, intensity, and that pretty much describes Ugufeli, but also red candles. And red candles are used a lot for love and passionate kinds of spells. Now, we go to purple. Purple candles are usually very magical candles. They're used like the ancient druids used their purple robes to basically consecrate their bodies to perform a specific magic, to perform a specific rite in their system. And these purple robes have been used all around the world, really, not just the druids, but that's my example. And purple candles, they're kind of they're a combination of blue and red, so you got passion and you got stillness and calmness, and it kind of brings you to a specific goal, a specific focus. That's why purple is so powerful. Now, if we go to white candles are basically purity, cleansing, positive focus, and they can be dedicated to different beings, and most people use them, either they know it or they don't, for inspiring purity, because they reflect light. It kind of makes us want to send out that light. Instead of soak it in and consume it, just send it out, as these white candles and the color white kind of sends it out, making a space more pure, not for soaking up negativity like black candles, but making a space more pure than it was before. And if you dedicate a white candle to a certain being, be sure that that being is attuned with that kind of transmuting purity. Now we'll go to light blue. And light blue is a lot of the time used for kind of calmness, tranquility, a feeling of self-control, and very mild and neutral color. Now these colors don't mean anything unless you have an understanding of what they're for, how to dedicate them to certain beings, spirits, gods, and really how to use them, because a lot of people might anoint the candle with oil. You can talk about oil of gladness, any kind of anointing oil in Catholicism. You can anoint them with oils like mugwort or juniper or something like that, based on what you're using it for, what kind of spell or what kind of being you're dedicating it to, or something you're trying to inspire within yourself. So this is kind of the color of calmness, is light blue. Now, the last one I'll talk about is green. Green is very connected to nature, obviously. That's usually what we think about when we think about green. It's very connected to nature, a lot of Wiccan things, and just elements in general. Kind of a oneness of kind of the life of the things that are in nature. That oneness, that force that is nature. All of those things can be recognized through green candles. Kind of the renewal and regeneration that nature has is recognized through green, because that's basically the closest color to proper regeneration and renewal in nature is green. And candles can be used for a lot of different things. I have a lot of candles, and I buy a lot of them before I know what I'm going to use them for. And you can still use them in the ways that I've described after you buy them, but it's best to buy a candle with a certain intent. And I always buy candles for spiritual reasons. It's never for putting off light or a scent, and so that has its own potency. But if you're going to do something very specific and you know what kind of color you want and what kind of candle you want, buy that color. And might I recommend, if you're going to do a spell, buy a small candle, one that you can focus on while it burns out. You don't want to buy a big candle, and then if you're going to focus on that spell the whole time, it'll take a long time unless you're doing that kind of spell, or if you want to hold your attention for that long. And votives are very good for, in general, candles. They're good for relighting, much better than like a thin and small candle that's a stick or a long stick. Votives are very much meant for relighting. So if you're going to use a candle for more than one instance, like when I feed my Servitor Sagama several times for a candle, then I want a votive and a holder for the votive. And you can have small candle holders for the small stick candles. They usually look like thimbles. And for the big stick candles, you want obviously a candle holder like this, so that it can fit in there and it can burn down in safety. And you can really reuse these stick candles like votives, but they don't offer a very pretty sight compared to votives for relighting, because they tend to drip all over themselves and get wax everywhere more if you continuously light them and blow them out, light them and blow them out. But those are some ideas about candles. I usually don't use black candles, like I said, and I would highly recommend that you look up colors online for color coordination for different spells, different offerings, things like that. Whatever system you're working in, make sure you know what kind of candle is used and how it's used, if it's anointed. And some candles I've even anointed with my own blood in the past. And that adds an extra layer of passion, and it's usually red. Extra layer of passion of a connection to your particular willpower and focus. And basically that's all I got to say about candles. It's been a really quick video for the amount of things candles are used for, because there's a whole lot of different ways you can use them for different magical and spiritual purposes, and other purposes, focus and willpower building. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up down there, a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And if you want to tell me anything you want to see in a video, I'm open to suggestions. So please let me know. And thank you very much for watching.